LalGopaldas and friends. I think you don't need, probably most of you don't need introduction of LalGopaldas because you know anyway for some of the others who don't know. He has been teaching Bhagavad Gita classes at the Hindu Temple of St. Louis for the last few years. And after completing Bhagavad Gita, he also told about Ramayana. And he has been conducting classes in several other organizations. Sri LalGopaldas is a student of Nyaya, Mimamsa and Vedanta Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Puranas and Itihasas. He has been following and practicing Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya since his school time. His guru is the author of New York bestseller, Journey Home, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who is a direct disciple of His Divine Grace at St. Louis University, Washington University, and several other temples, including Babs, Ganesh Temple here, and the Murugan Temple. And he also conducted classes in Kansas City. And of course, on YouTube, his lectures are available. He has full-time job at AT&T, and also he was the president of ISKCON Temple till recently. Am I correct? Okay. And it's a very interesting topic today. And a common question is, among the generality of men, why I never did anything bad. Why bad things happen to me? I've been nice to the people, but still a lot of bad things are happening. So LalGopaldas has some answers for that. And the topic is why bad things happen to good people. So he will give us all the reasons why they happen. Thank you very much.
अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः परमगुरुभ्यो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः ओम अज्ञानान्तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथामयं तदान्ति स्वामी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे ज्ञानानंदमयं देवं निर्मलं स्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे. How many of you think that it is destined that you all have to be sitting here today at this time? Some, either it's fortunate for you or not fortunate, I don't know. At the end of this class, you will come to know. It's punya or papa. But the place is auspicious, therefore I'm sure you're all going to get some punya out of this presentation, whether it's coming out of my speech or not. Definitely the place is auspicious. staying here for 60, 90 minutes together with like-minded people is surely going to generate a positive energy when we return back. With that said, mic close it. Is it okay? No? Yeah. Okay. So the topic that Naidu sir has given me is on this one. Why I did present this at the same place maybe 10 years back, and he wanted me to repeat this because how many ever times we hear this topic, we again go back to our own back to our lifestyle. Therefore, this is a presentation. Oops. Okay. Okay. Oops. All right. So what we are going to cover today, another question, including question and answers and the presentation, is a big topic. These are the topics that we'll be covering about Atma, and we'll know why we're going to cover about Atma. The topic is about karma, but why are we talking about Atma? But it's necessary. And why I took birth, and the fundamental principles of karma, and cause of karma, what's the root cause of karma, and who's the cause of everything? Is Ishvara, Paramatma, God is cause, or is it the karma which is cause? And different types of karmas. After we speak about all different types of karmas, then we are going to see, okay, enough of hearing about karmas. Is there any way out? Right? We are all, as we get out of this room, we need to also not only be known about what karma is, we should also have some solution to resolve that karma. So that will be the options. There are 4 options, by the way. So I'm not going to tell what you have to take. You all can decide what you want to do. Some recommendations, and then we'll conclude, and we'll also have a question and answer session at the end. Pranavo dhanu sharohyatma brahmatam lakya uchyate apramattena vedavyam sarvat tanmayo bhavete. This is Panchandogya Upanishad. We'll start with this Upanishad. By the way, as Naidu sir said, I'm going to talk some things about karma, and whatever I'm talking here is absolutely nothing related to my own intelligence. It's all coming from the Shastra. It's from mainly the whole presentation is primarily focused on Brahma Sutra and some points from Upanishads, few Upanishads, and obviously Bhagavad Gita and Puranas, Vishnu Purana and other Puranas. So we'll hear all those things, the collections of evidence all there in the presentation. So I'm just a collector of information, sharing the information here, and nothing of my own intelligence. So this particular sloka from Chandogya Upanishad is quite very important. It says that what is that our goal of our life? What's the goal of our life? Our goal of our life is like the archer who's holding this bow and arrow and then ready to release this arrow, aiming at a target. And when it goes to the target, the tip of the arrow, it almost gets one with the target. It becomes very hard to understand and differentiate whether this is arrow piece, head, or that is a flesh. You cannot differentiate. But they are different, by the way. They are different. Therefore, the goal of the human life is that ultimately we, the Atma, as arrow, might ultimately reach the Brahman, the absolute truth, ultimately reaching and become as good as or as equal to as similar to God. Just hold on to the thoughts because we are going to cover that a little more in detail. So that's a goal. And what is the bow that is being used here? Pranavo dhanuhu. Pranava means Omkar. The Pranava, the Omkar, the bow is the Omkar. And it's interesting that Upanishad is using bow as the Omkar. Why? Because this particular Pranava mantra has 3 syllables. A, U, Ma. A, U, Ma. And it represents 2 things. 2 things. One is that Jivatma is a conscious entity. Jivatmas are conscious entity. That's number one. Number two is Jivatma has an everlasting, eternal, unbreakable relationship with Paramatma. Therefore, this is what Om represents. Therefore, Pranavo Dhanavu, Charokyatma, Brahmatam Laksha Uchati. The Lakshyam, the goal, is for this Atma to attain that Paramatma over there. That is what we all have to do. What's happening is not that. That is the goal. And when we attain over there, we attain 8 qualities of the Supreme Lord. Apahada Papma, Vijaraha, Vrimuktihu, Vishokaha, Vijigitshaha, and then Satya Kamaha, Satya Sankalpaha, Apipasaha. These 8 qualities we attain when we attain the Lord. That is, I will not have karmas, I am karma free. Apahada Papma, Vijaraha, I will not have old age. Vrimuktihu means I will not have death. Vishokaha, no more problems in life. No problems in life. Avipasaha, no hunger, no thirst, and all my desires that I have get fulfilled. These are the qualities that even now we have this one. Unfortunately, the current state that we are in is not being exhibited. We're not able to exhibit those things, we're not able to experience those qualities of Brahman. Brahman has unlimited qualities. But out of unlimited qualities, we get 8 of it. In that, we get Samyapati. Means we are one with God in those 8 qualities alone. It's not necessarily we become God just because of that reason. But what's the current status we are in? Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadi, Dukkha Doshana Darshana. We've been going through life after life after life after life, many lifetimes. And over here, the life is pleasing and pleasant? Definitely not. It changes over a period of the time. Every single time is questionable. Padam yakti padam nadesha. Every step we keep in our life over here is danger, is involved. Danger is involved. We go through birth, we take birth, we stay for some time, we grow, and then we study, we get married, and then get children, and then get old, and then die. And then die. Therefore, our program is always focused on towards this my birth date and the death date. Everything that we are focusing right now is within this window frame, birth and death. Birth and death. Between this birth and death, what's happening is that many things happen in our life. Many things happen in our life. We get to know many people. We get to cultivate many knowledges. We make friends, and many things happen in the current state of life. But in the state of life we are in right now, unfortunately, we are missing Pranavo Dhanavu, Kshirot Atma. That Atma should reach Paramatma, the Supreme Brahman. That goal has been missed, unfortunately. Why is going to be? We'll cover that. But as I said earlier, that everything that I don't have a clock here, so I really don't know what time and things. So someone have to tell me, remind me. Where is the source of what we are going to see today is from the great sage called Veda Vyasa. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave, Namo Vai Brahmanite, Vasishtaya Namo Nama. Vyasa and Vishnu is non-different because Vasudeva is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He has written down the Vedas for our understanding. In those days, Vedas were not written. It was passed on to the disciples. Shabdamatram. Thank you. Shabdamatram, right? Otherwise, we cannot understand the Vedas over here. And then Veda has also given Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra by itself a big topic, but it's an essence, it's just in a formulated capsule ways that is written single liners of great messages. And that is exactly what is going to be helping us to find out about this topic on karma, and that's what is going to tell us how to get out of these problems that we have also. Okay. Now, why do I have to accept karma? First question, we have to start with that one, right? Why do we even have to accept karma? It's very simple, very simple. I was just talking to my daughter yesterday while we were driving, and she was asking, one of her cousin was not well, and then she was asking, what's the cause? I said, I don't know. And she said that how can it be anything without cause? He must have done something so he got hurt. There is some cause for an effect. Even a kid of 10 years old can understand there is a cause and effect. Nothing can happen by itself. Right? Therefore, if we are today in this state, it cannot be by fluke, by chance. There should be some cause for our existence. If there is no cause, it's like you go to a factory and the factory is making products. You take any of the products that you have. For example, this watch. The company makes hundreds and thousands of such more same patterns, right? When they produce a product, they make ditto of same thing many number of times, right? So when we have been created, then we all should look alike. There shouldn't be any differences, and the lifestyle and the behaviors and everything should be ditto. We don't see that. We don't see that. Even a mother gets a twins are not the same. Even though they look alike sometimes, they're not the same. They're totally different. Therefore, cause and effect is definitely there in anything that we do. And then another point to understand is, yes, karma is there. I have to believe karma because of this reason. We can see that sometimes we are getting rewarded, sometimes we are getting punished. We are not interested to be punished. We like rewards, but without even being called, we are getting punished. Punishment in different ways, as you all can think. So the thing is that no cause for anything can happen in my life. Without cause, nothing can happen in my life. Okay. When I die, if we deny the cause, if we deny the karma concept theory, then we should understand that means whatever I'm doing right now, whether I'm doing good or bad, when I die, they're going to be dying. Yes? For example, I'm doing a puja, a big puja, Jyotishtoma Yajna. Jyotishtoma Yajna is which will take you to heavenly planet. We can have friends and handshake with Indra. So I'm doing at the age of 80. Imagine I'm doing at the age of 80. Unfortunately, before I finished my puja, and what happened is that I die. So if I die, that means whatever I did, as per, if I don't believe in karma, then that also dies. But Veda says, anything that we do will never go in vain. It will never be wasted. It will never go in waste. Therefore, by all means, karma is not an imaginary concept. It is a fact. It's a true fact that we all can experience ourselves in life. Okay. Now, before we get deeper into this topic of karma, it is very important why we have to know karma. Very important to understand the concept of Atma. If this Atma is not understood, what Atma and what's the qualities of Atma, then definitely karma is not going to be of any use for this matter. Because why? Many people are thinking that I'm born on such and such year, I'm going to die. Let me make use of my life as much as possible, the best way I could. Live life king size. Bye. Right? That's what people think. Right? But that's where the problem comes. Those who think like that, when I die, everything is going to be finished. That means for them, karma concept is not going to be applicable. If there's no matter, you live however you want. How does it matter after I die? So therefore, it's important to understand this very important concept called Atma. Atma is where the difference between Atma and soul. We all should know that we are not this body. We are not this body. Come on, how do you say that? Deginam asminyata dehim kaumaram yabanam jara tata dehantra prapti dhira satra namuyate. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that it's very easy to understand that you are not this body. How do you say, Krishna? Well, Pratiti, were you like this size when you were born? You change. We've been changing body from baby to childhood to youth to adult to old man. We've been changing body, but I'm the same person. If I'm not the same person, I should definitely not remember what happened yesterday. Yes or no? It's quite obvious I can remember what happened a few years back. Very clearly, that means someone who can memory, has a memory, who has an intelligence, who has a consciousness, who is sentient, is what is carrying those things with this body. Therefore, body is different, and who is living inside the body is different, and who's living in that body is who I am. That is Atma. Body changes. It's a very important thing. Therefore, this Atma is referred as I, and anything related, anything is different from I is called mind. I don't say I nose, I ear, my ear, my nose, my shirt, and we say my body. I said, okay, so you've been telling my. Who are you? You are not the body, you are Atma. Therefore, that's number one. Number two is, we are all made, what is this Atma made of? This body is made of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Whereas Atma is made of what? Jnana. Jnana means just knowledge. Knowledge. Atma is made of knowledge. Knowledge alone. Knowledge alone. And not only that, this Atma possesses knowledge. It has knowledge. It is made of knowledge. It possesses knowledge and is cognizant. Any of those things that you see on your left side will be opposite on the right side. Doesn't match. And what's that which doesn't match with Atma are called Sharira, Deha, body. Therefore, from this we can easily understand we are not this body, we are Atma. We are Atma. Okay? Now the next question comes, when was the Atma created? Very, very interestingly, everyone asks. How many Atmas are there? You know, we can count the population of America, Russia, India, the world population we can calculate and find out. But to be realistic, the strategic that we have, that we find about the population is not accurate. We all know that. It's not accurate. It's only which comes into the record, we know. There are many things which is not in record. That we are, and also only we are taking in consideration of the human beings, by the way. What about other species? What about other species? Nothing has been included. Forget about, now we'll go further one level down. What about the bacteria and virus and different, these are all living entities, by the way. They're all living entities. None of us can count any of those things even within this world. But the Shastra says this world is not the only world. There are many worlds out there. Not only many worlds, there are many universes are there. And everywhere there are living entities. Okay, even if you count every living entities, is that a count? No, it's infinite. We cannot count how many Atma. Okay, now coming back to the question, when was Atma created? Therefore, in my Brahma Sutra, Vedavyasa says, Na Atma Sute Nityatvat Thobyam. It says that Na Atma Sute. Atma is never created. It's never created. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Eko Bahunam Vidadhati Kaman. This is said also. The Atmas are many and they are Nityam. They have been existing for many lifetime. Therefore they are not created. But can we destroy them? Can we destroy Atma? Avinashitu tad vidhe. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. We cannot. Atma will not avinash. It will not get vinasha. It will not get destroyed. It cannot be destroyed. We'll see next slide. Why we can't destroy Atma, we will see. Therefore, this is two things. Why Atma cannot be destroyed, why Atma is eternal, or three logics has been given. Because Atma is pervaded. We cannot even find where Atma is. That does not mean Atma doesn't exist, by the way. There are many things that we cannot see through our bare eyes. We need certain tools and instruments to even see. There could be many of living entities on this table that I can't see. But if I had a right tool, I can microscope or whatever it is, I can see some bugs are there. Like that Atma, we cannot see Atma. It's minute. Anumatram. It's very minute. Very minute. Balagrasya satabhagasya. It says that Balagrasya satabhagasya, take a hair and cut that hair into 100 pieces. Take one of those pieces, cut that into 100 pieces. Take that one piece. That's the size of Atma. Just to give us an idea, it just cannot be measured. That's the point here. Now don't go home and try to measure this one. It's not possible. Right? Therefore, we should understand this Atma is pervaded, is very minute, Another thing is, if we can only kill something, break something, which is made of combination of components. Combination of components. If there are multiple, if I want to break something, I say this one, right? It is easy for me to break this because why? This is made of multiple components. It's made of earth, water, fire, went through some process of heating. All this finally gave this product. Therefore, it's a combination of products, combination of atoms. Therefore, I can easily break this. Take a pot. A pot. If you want to break the pot, what we have to do, take a forceful power washer and then just point it on the pot, it's going to break. It's going to break. Because the pot is made of components. Water, fire, earth, ether, water, fire, and ether. Therefore, we can break it. And for one to break it, one has to penetrate into that one to take over. This is an important thing. If I want to cut bananas, you don't need to cut anything. Take an apple. If you want to cut apple, that knife should penetrate into the apple to cut the apple. Yes or no? Very easy. It is not tough to understand. But Atma is not made of any components. Because it is not made of any components, we cannot break it. We cannot break it, we cannot wither it, we cannot burn it. Nainam chintanti shastrani, nainam tagati pavakaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you cannot cut that into pieces, you cannot wither that into anything with wind, you cannot do any of those things. Why? For this reason, because nothing can enter into Atma to kill that, to break it. Therefore, the second logic is Atma is never created, Atma is eternal, it's not going to be destroyed. Okay. So, the third logic has been given that why Atma is eternal, because otherwise the Vedas will be of no use. We are going to touch on the last one in a later slide, just for the sake of time. I want to keep going with the time. Now the next famous question comes, who placed this Atma into this body? Well, we may say that, well, my parents did that one. And that's a general answer. That's a generic answer, that because of my parents I got this body. But not that all the parents who aspire to have children get children. Whenever they get together, not necessarily it's going to be a positive conceiving state. It's quite obvious, it's not even in the hands of the parents to conceive a child. Yes or no? Many of your parents. It's not possible. Just because we want to have a child, we can have a child. They can understand that's beyond our control to get a child. Someone else is actually placing the child. What we are doing is, it's just become an instrument for that Atma to take birth. That's all we are trying to do. But we are not the creator of the Atma at all. And we don't decide that part. When the right time comes, that Atma takes birth. And who does that one? God does. Right? But, hold on. Now, so far we have seen that Atma is eternal and it's minute, it's not created, it's not destroyed, it's different from the body. And it's full of knowledge, it's cognizant. Yes, so far with me? Because Atma is very important to understand to the main topic coming to the karma. Now, let's move on. Now, well, this is another famous question. Who put me into this body? We said just now, God, right? If God is what we have done, put me into this body, I think that He must be partial and He must be merciless. Why do you say so? Well, He's partial because I see someone is richer and I am not. Someone is more intelligent, I am not. Someone is healthy, I am not. My neighbor is having good life and good wife, good husband. I have a problem here. God created. God put me into this family. God created. He is very partial, man. Very partial. That's one complaint that we have against God. And second thing is, if God is merciful, why don't He create the entire United States of America like Hawaii? Why? What a wonderful thing it would be. Why everyone, there shouldn't be any hospitals. Everyone should be healthy, wealthy, joyful. It doesn't look like He is merciful. These are the two complaints that generally people have in their mind. And they don't want to come to temple for this reason, many people, unfortunately. For them, Brahma Sutra says, Vaishamyena Nirgranena Sapekshatavat. Beautiful sutra. Beautiful. This one statement clearly defeats these two things over here. God is not impartial, my friend, and He is merciful. He is merciful. The differences that we see are due to the individual karmas. Individual karmas. God does not do it on His choice. On one fine morning, God gets up from His bed. He said, "Hey, you become a cat. You become a rat." He doesn't do this. He doesn't do this one. He's not going to do that one. Why? Then what is it driving him to make someone rat, cat, snake, human, American, Australian, Russian, so forth? Why? Male, female, healthy. What is it? We have to come back to our acceptance of karma. Acceptance of karma. Therefore, karma. It depends on the karma. God rewards the individual perfectly based on their past deeds. There will be question and answer at the end, but most of the major questions will be answered if you can just pay attention until the end of it. Merciful. Life game. You see, why God is not merciful? Why He can't make everything nice, green, and wonderful here? See, if you play a game, go to a hockey or football or whatever game, there is a rule for the game. Yes or no? If you don't play or don't follow the game, you'll be out. You'll be out. It doesn't matter how great you are, you'll be out. So God has this life game, God has set rules and regulations and policies and laws. If you follow, you stay there. If you don't, out. That does not mean it's not merciful. It is our carelessness that we don't want to follow the laws of God. Therefore, Vaishamyena, Naigrigena, Sapekshatvat, God is merciful. You cannot blame on these two things. Then if God is only going to act on the basis of karma, why we need God? Right? Next question comes. Well, God is perfectly doing this program. Because you did this wrong, I'm going to punish you. Because you did this correct, I'm going to reward you. If He's only basing everything on my own karma, which I did from my previous life, why even I have to come to temple? Anyway, it's going to happen in my life the way it's going to happen. What is the role of God? Do you have the question? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
We have to understand that there are two reasons. There are two things. There's a primary cause and there's a secondary cause. Primary cause and secondary cause. And here, Pradhana Bhutva, Karmani Pradhana Bhutva, Vishnu Puranam says that Nimitta Matram, God plays a role as a secondary person. He is not a primary one. Of whatever happening here in our life, He is not primary cause. He is a secondary cause. Well, I thought God is everything. I thought He is controller, is principal and primary. No. He is not. So who is the primary cause? I am the primary cause of my own problems in my life. So what is God doing? He takes the secondary role. What does secondary role means? Well, it makes the facilities available for me to exercise my karmas. He creates this world. He creates all these elements of the world. And then He creates a body that's needed for us. He creates a place. He gives all the facilities and tells Atma, you take birth now and you exercise all the punya papa karmas. Whatever good and bad you did, exercise. So He plays a secondary role. Like a farmer. Farmer has a big land. On the southern side, he puts a seed. On the eastern side, he puts a seed. On the northern side, he puts another seed. After 1 year, on the southern side, he gets a mango. On the northern side, he gets an apple. And I go to him and see, well, I saw last year put a seed. Why you get mango on that side? Why you get apple on this side? Why? Why? Well, because I put apple seed there and mango seed here. So you're not the cause? Well, the seed is the cause. Then what did you do? I made it happen according to the seed's nature. God plays a secondary role as a farmer. But the seed is the karma of the individual jivatma. That is I, the cause of my karma. Clear so far? Okay. Now let's get into, now we completed the pretty much basic fundamental things. Now we'll come into the entering into the karma topic. What is karma? Karma has two meanings. contradicting meanings, by the way. Two meanings. One is the past deeds that are accumulated through both righteous and misdeeds. Whatever in the past that I've done, good or bad, that is the reaction of that particular thing becomes karma. But when I do good or bad, that action itself called karma. Make sense? Karma means action, and the reaction comes after my action is also called karma. Karma. For this karma of reaction to go away, I still have to do karma to get out of it. It's quite confusing. The action that I perform is good or bad. The result of my action is called karma. The action when I'm doing is also called karma. By my karma, that action, I can get rid of karma, which is what going to be the end of the slide. We'll wait until we get over there. Right. Now, just for that, we saw whatever I said is what over here. Let's move on now. Now, a little more detail for karma. For the karma thing, we really have to understand two important terms, very important terms: punya and papa. Punyam and papa. The whole Sanatana Dharma, the fundamental aspects of Sanatana Dharma based on this punya and papa. Because dharma as another is a synonym for punyam. Dharma means punyam. Sukrit also called punyam. There are many in the Amara Kosha, in other dictionaries, there are many meanings, synonyms are available for what punya means. Now here, punya means good deeds. What is good deeds? Pune, karne, shubhaha. The action that I perform should bring auspiciousness. And that is called punya, actual literal meaning of what punya means. That means not only to me, the action that I perform not only have to bring good to me, but to everyone else around me, to the society. And that activity is called punya. And it's easy to understand what papa means. Now, exactly, pa, pine, pa, meaning that which brings you is called papa. That is the definition of papa. That which brings you is called what? What does it mean that it brings you? That means it destroys us. Brings means you finish it, complete, you're done, you're destroyed, demolished. You don't have life any further. Good life. That is papa. The activities that will drink us totally is called papa. Now with these two definitions, we are going to see now what is this karma. Based on this table that we have. We have to have do's and there are don'ts. And there are take action and don't take action. Okay? Vedas are the authority for us, that which tells us what to do, what not to do. How do we know what to do, what not to do? We can't go and ask someone go to the Walmart and ask, what am I supposed to do, sir? He said, please get out of here. We don't ask anyone and everyone that what to do and what not to do. So we have to refer to one authority which is common to all, irrespective of the difference that we have among our Sanatana Dharma, Advaita philosophy, Dvaita philosophy, Vishishta Advaita philosophy, Achinta Veda, Veda Tattva. There are many schools of thought, but all this orthodox school of thought, they all have only one authority. Even though there are differences, they have only one authority: Vedas. This is where we all come together. We may have difference of opinions in our understandings of certain things, but more than focusing on the differences among different schools of thought, it will be wondered that if we come and see what are the commonalities among everyone, they all accept Vedas, they all accept existence of Brahman, they all accept existence of Atma as eternal, they all accept karma, they all accept we have to finish the karma and attain moksha. Every schools of thought has the same goal. But we don't focus on the similarity and work together, rather we start talking about the differences, fight with each other. It's for the scholars who can fight and find differences, not for common people. Common people like us, mostly we have to see the similarity and work together. So what we are seeing is that most of them are similarities here. Atma, no one is going to say not eternal, right? So karma here, taking the Vedas as a base. Vedas as a base. When Vedas says, do this, and I follow that and do that, take action, do that, the end result is called Punya. Please, Punya. Now Vedas says, don't do this, and I take action and do it, and that is called very easy, very simple. The government is telling, don't drive more than 60, right? And I drive. Problem. Same principle applies over here. When Veda says do it, I do it, then Punya. When Veda says don't do it and I do it, it's Papa. When Veda says do it and I don't do it, what is that? We get Papam. And Veda says don't do it, don't do that, don't do that. And then I go ahead and do it. Again Papa. Again Papa. Veda says, be a human, do not lie, do not steal, etc., whatever it is. Don't do that, but I go and do it. Papa, very simple. Many people have this question, what is Papa and what is Punya? Very simple. Why are you so confused? This table should answer you what is Papa and Punya. Do that is pleases God. Don't do that displeases God. Papo Punya. Punya Papo, Ishvara Preeti Kopam. There's another statement called Punya and Papa. Easily we can understand a definition. The statement says Punya, Papa, Ishvara Preeti Kopam. Means that which pleases God is called Punya. That which creates displeasure or anger to God is called Papa. There's no confusion over there, right? So now we can done with that one. So this is very important table. We are going to see the table down in another few more slides later. So please remember what is Punya, what is Papa under the karma, and how do we know what to do, what not to do based on the thing. When did I get my first karma? It's a fantastic question. Everyone asks this question. Everyone asks, when was the, okay, I am suffering now, right? And you're telling it because of my previous misdeed that I did, I'm suffering now, okay. In the previous life, what defined my previous life? I'm going to answer that. Oh, the other previous life defined it. Okay, very good. Before that, which that other karma did. So we can keep on going on. Then we stop it. Okay, enough of that. Tell me when I first started my karma. When I started accumulating karma, first karma. Right? Here is the important thing that we need to know. That creation, destruction, birth, death, karma. And one more thing is going to be another topic we are going to see. I will tell now. Another one is called avidya. The 6 things: creation, destruction, birth, death, karma, avidya, beginningless. Beginningless means you cannot put a date and tell on this particular year is when you started first karma, your first karma. Why we can't tell that? You should have an answer by now. Because Atma is eternal. The birth we have been taking not only this first time, we've been taking innumerable times, countless times we've been taking birth. We cannot trace back our life when we started first. Therefore, this answer, simple answer for this is, there is no answer. We cannot trace back. The answer is there. Answer is, karma doesn't have a trace. It doesn't have a beginning. That is what it says over here in the sloka over here from the scripture. Suryo chandramaso data yata puram akalpayat. Suryo chandramaso data yata kalpam akalpayat. Yata puram akalpayat. Meaning, how the Surya and Chandra is created is like how it was created before. This is a Veda Shastra. That means Surya and Chandra is not the first time it got created this now. It created exactly how it was created before the destruction in the previous creation. That is very clearly says that we are all beginningless. We've been going through several lifetimes. Now what is the cause of the karma? We are getting into another topic. What's the cause of the karma? That I understand and accept Atma is different from body. I understand and accept that I am not this body. I understand and accept I have been taking birth for a beginningless period. I understand and accept I have been accumulating karma for a long time. We all agree so far? We are all on the same page now? So far? Okay. Now, coming to the point of what is the cause of my karma? Big question. What is the cause of my karma? Therefore, answer for that is avidya. Avidya. Avidya means vidya means knowledge. Avidya means ignorance or lack of knowledge. In other words, called ignorance. Ignorance. Avidya means ignorance. Avidya. So this avidya caused karma. Karma caused avidya. What did avidya do? Caused karma. What karma did? Avidya. This cycle is just going on and on and on and on and on. Like how we have, just now we told God, Vedas, living entities, creation, destruction, birth, karma. Avidya doesn't have a beginning. This is a very important point to remember. This list of things doesn't have a beginning. We cannot trace back. Cannot. So this is the cause of what is called avidya. But I have a good news for you all. I mean, Veda Vyasa has a good news for you, all of us. Even though it has beginning, it doesn't have a beginning. Karma and avidya as an end. We can put an end to it. We can definitely put an end to it. And that's going to come later in the presentation. Okay, now the question is, what is cause? What is this avidya? We need to understand avidya. Okay, we said avidya means ignorance. Yes. But what is this avidya? What exactly avidya means? It says two things over here. Avidya. Anatmani atma buddhihi. Anatmani atma buddhihi. Thinking I to be this body is the biggest avidya, which is called ahankara. By the way, when we are in context of talking about this ahankara, we are not talking about the pride. Keep it aside. That is not the ahankara we are speaking here. Okay? The avidya creates ahankara, and the ahankara has nothing to do with pride or egoistic nature. It's to do about anatmani atma buddhi. That means thinking me to be this body. The truth just now we saw, I'm not this body. Yes? We just saw, and that's why I spoke about Atma first. We are not this body, but I am thinking, oh, look at me with these glasses and then nice border and everything, so nice, wonderful, nice. That means I'm thinking and tell myself to be this body, this body. That is called ahankara. That ahankara is what we are talking here. That's a product of avidya. The ignorance gives a first one called avidya. Gives the first one called ahankara, and the second interesting another one is produced from avidya is called mamakara. Mamakara means the things that which doesn't belong to me, I think that's mine. My neighbor's lawn is my lawn. My neighbor's this is mine. Everyone's is mine. Okay? I'm the center of attraction. I'm the center of wanting to enjoy everything. So everything around me is for my own pleasure. Therefore, this is mine, that is mine, this building is mine, this temple is mine. Okay? That is called mamakara. The avidya gives, the ignorance gives two things, sprouts two things, ahankara and mamakara. This ahankara and mamakara is the root cause of our karma. That's the root cause of our karma. Clear? Because why is the root cause? When I start thinking about myself, then I start behaving in a way that I want to be. I am tall, I am short, I am black, I am white, I am yellow, I am American, I am Russian, whatever, Chinese, Indian. That comes into my identity. When I start thinking about this is my country. Don't enter into my country. I'll shoot you. So we see how I works, right? And this is mine. Therefore, this avidya creates this problem of two major problems it creates. Next. Impact of this I and mind. Once I start thinking of I and mind, then obviously we are going to do exactly opposite of what is over here. There's no need of explanation. I'll do exactly opposite of what has been told here. That is, it says do, I will not do. Veda says do, I will not do. Veda says don't do it, I will start doing those things. That's how the papa increases. Because I don't care about anything else, because I'm thinking I am this body, when I die everything is finished anyway. When I start thinking my life ends after I die, then everything collapses. Whole thing changes. That is what ahankara gives to us. That is what avidya gives to us. Okay, moving on. How come, now is the important thing, for the previous slide I have written something very small, I'll read it out for you. Ahankara and mamakara, which is called avidya, together is the cause for papa and... You should ask me a question now. You should ask me a question. Papa can be a problem. Avidya, I can understand, I'm going to do all papa things. That's what we saw now. Then, if I follow the Vedas and do exactly what Vedas said, I get punya, correct? But the statement says, papa and punya are product of avidya. How is it punya becomes avidya? Interesting question, right? How punya becomes avidya? Here is the point. Point is that when this person who is following the Vedas, doing pujas, doing donations, doing everything, he does everything perfectly as said by Dharma Shastra. That means he understands that I am not this body, I am Atma. Atma is eternal, body is going to be destroyed. Right? He understands everything. But even he does with avidya is what we question now. Ignore. How? Because when we start doing these things, if I am coming to the temple and doing some puja, some things, then I pray to God, my dear God, enough of this life. I'm doing all this donation and I'm doing all these big things just because when I die, let me go to Swargam. Swargam, everyone knows Swargam, right? Swargam means heaven. Heaven. After I die, I want to go to heaven. My God, please bless me. I'm doing everything. Why? Because I can go to heaven. That's where the problem is. What's the problem? That means I'm considering myself to be independent person. I'm thinking I'm self-independent. Swatantriyam. But we are not Swatantriyam. We don't have Swatantriyam. We are Paratantriyas. Paratantriyam is we're depending on the Brahman, Ishvara. But now what I'm thinking, even though I understood Vedas, even though I understood Atma, everything I understood, but ultimately where my knowledge took me to, I want to go and enjoy in Swargaloka. That is not Omkara or Pranava. What does the Pranava say? I am servant of God. I am not the master, I am servant of God. That is forgotten. Therefore, that also created by avidya. Avidya. Okay? Now, does it mean that I should not do punya at all now? Big question. I should not do any good deed. Papa I am not going to do anyway. But I was thinking of doing all good cause. But you are telling me if I do, that is also avidya. What am I supposed to do? But this point is very important to understand. We should all do punya. There is no question about it. Everyone, if someone is suffering on the road, fainted, say for example, is a drunkard, right? A drunkard is walking on the street. He's doing like this. He's walking on the street, and you are watching from somewhere near the shop. Different shop, not from the same shop. So you're watching this guy over there is walking like this, and you can also see from a distance there is a high-speed truck is coming. Right? Now you're thinking, Sunday on the August, what's the date today? August 5th, 4th, August 4th. I heard karma topic. Close your eyes and walk other side. Because we should not do this punya. This is not punya, it's avidya. If I do, then I may get awarded and go to heavenly planet to enjoy. That's not what it is. We should continue helping mankind. We should help everyone. That is punya. But when we do that punya, we should remember that, and we do this one statement mentally in our mind when we do any good activities. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. The results of my act, the good thing, that deeds I am doing, it's not for me. Krishna, I offer it to you. When we say mentally this and do any good cause, we are not going to get a good result reaction of that punya. And you must be wondering, why is he against punya? We all want to get good karmas, punya, right? We all want to get punya. Why am I talking about why we should avoid getting punya, why we should offer everything to God? The problem is that whether it's punya or papa, both binds us into this world. If you do bad thing, you take birth and suffer. If you do good things, you take birth and become someone. I was going to tell names here, but I won't do that. Right? So you become a big shot, big person. Therefore, we should understand, whenever you do good karmas, we try to think in our mind, Krishna, I don't want the reaction or result of this one. Let it all be for you. That's how we have to do. Karmanevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadakshana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, do your duty. Don't neglect it. If you don't do your duty, you will be punished. Okay, let's move on. Now, another question comes. Well, I heard that not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of God. Yes, we heard this every time we hear. Right? And I'm just lifting my hand. Who lifted this hand? Who lifted this hand? God is a controller. God is a controller. He made me to lift my hand. I'm walking on the street. I'm going to punch on someone's face. Who did that one? God made me to do that one. What a nice way of having gratitude towards God, right? God made me to do it. Husband-wife fights, and wife just now heard Bhagavad Gita and karma topic and goes home. And wife is asking husband, why are you screaming? God. God made me to fight with you. I am controlled by my karmas. I have no power. God is the doer. I am not the doer. We can come up with all these wonderful excuses. But these are the two things. I am like a puppet in the hands of God. God is one who is controlling me to walk, move like this, do whatever I want. Let's see. This is going to be a little technique, but I'm not going to be getting into technical details, but keep it very simple and simple language. That as per the Brahma Sutra, Karta Shastra Vatvat. It says, who's the doer? Karta, who's the doer? As per the Shastra, the Jivatma is the doer. God is not the doer. Let's first understand this one. Anything that I am doing in my life, God is not the doer. I am the doer. How do you say that? Well, just now we saw in the few 10 slides back that we are a conscious entity. We are sentient being. We are made of jnana, we possess jnana, therefore we are having an ability to think and process and decide. Therefore, Jivatma was the doer. God is not the doer. That is why we go back to the previous slide that I am the primary cause. I am the primary doer, and based on what I make a decision, God executes it, allows it to happen, make it to happen as a secondary cause, allows it. And that is what it is said. So there are two things God takes his position. Udasinavati. First one is, he lets us decide whatever we want to do. He does not interfere in our decision making. That's the beauty of God. And that's also a problem for us, unfortunately. Right? He does not interfere whether you want to come to attend this class today, here, sit in here, or you want to go to a party. Sometimes people tell, I'm sure I'm going to call someone and ask, why you didn't come to today's class? He said, no bhagya. I have not done good karma. Or I didn't have permission from God to go to this place. God is a controller what to do. We cannot say that. God doesn't interfere in our swatantriyam that is given, the independence that is given to make decisions. Free will. Free will is in our hand. That free will is also limited, by the way, but we can make decisions in our life. Therefore, when we make decisions, He does not interfere. Whether to come here, whether not to come here and watch games or matches. He does not interfere. But when I make that decision, Anumanta, he takes the second position. What's the second position? He grants it. Therefore, going back to the previous slide, a blade of grass can't move is a term to understand. I may decide, but who has to authorize it? God has to authorize this. Therefore, for us to easily understand, blade of grass cannot move. That's what it is. But the blade of grass has less intelligence. Just to understand simply in our language. That's all. Therefore, Udasina, the first position he takes is Udasina. Second position he takes is Anumanta. We make the decision. Once we make the decision, okay, if I'm going to take this water and drink, God is not going to tell us you drink or not drink. I have to decide. Someone came and kept this water. Now I have to turn and lift this water and drink. I am thinking now, let me go and drink water. But God has to grant permission. Okay, go ahead. If He doesn't do, my hand cannot function. I cannot even move a bit unless and until He authorizes this. That's a too important point for us to understand. That's what the slide says. There are a lot more details to the slide, but we'll move on. Now comes this diagram, flow diagram. Okay, now God is not the controller. That I understand I am the cause of my cause. Whatever I'm suffering, whatever I'm going through, maybe this is what it is. Whatever I'm doing now, I'm being completely dictated and driven by my previous karma. That's another question. Why do you behave like this? Karma. My previous karma. I did what to do. I am helpless. In other words, my life is preordained or predestined. Whether I to come here or not to come is already decided. Already decided. If it's been decided for me to present in this hall inside, I'll be here. If it's not been decided, I'll be elsewhere. Why? Because karma drives it. Okay. What is this karma thing? You can see this. Everything starts from avidya, I and mind. Because of I and mind, what comes next is attachment and hatred. Raha and dvesha. Because I and mind, I like some people, I hate some people. I like some things, I don't like some things. Because of this avidya, I start liking and disliking things. What that happens is, because of my liking and disliking, I start doing some actions. Right? I like idli sambar. Then I have to take action, do some action to go and take idli sambar and eat. That is called what? Karma. Yes? The action is called karma. Therefore, when the raga dvesha comes, I take some action. I send some harsh mail. I hate someone, I don't like, I do something, talk to some harshly. These are the things. Then take an action. You don't like someone, you take an action verbally or mentally or through whatever it is. Right? Take an action. When you do an action and we keep doing the same action, another one gets produced. If we keep lying in our life, that becomes an impression of our behavior. For every single thing we start lying. If lying, keep on lying, that's what we start stealing things. And that becomes our vasana. It becomes our imprint into ourselves. When I go out of this place, this TV is very nice, come on, take it. Take it and go. Because by nature, vasana, that develops vasana. Because of this karma that I do, because of the vasana, that creates another karma, new karma, papa karma, punya karma. When I get papa karma and punya karma, obviously I have to take birth. Because there are karmas which can wait for some period, there are karmas which cannot wait for some period, it has to get implemented immediately. There are small karmas where we can suffer now only. There could be a bigger karma where we have to take next lifetime or multiple lifetimes. Or it could be, it has to wait for some period of lifetime and then get affected. Become into affected. There are different types of karma. Okay? So this is what happens. Everything that happens are predestined, preordained, no possibility to make any changes because it's very clear. The circle very clearly says I am falling into this circle, therefore everything is driven by my karma. I have no choice to change myself. I cannot become a devotee, I cannot be a good person because karma drives me. Okay, let's get here. The truth is, yes, karma plays a role, but karma is not the full controller. There is influence of karma, but karma is not the full controller. We should know this. Why? Karta sastra vat. Because what? I am the doer. Even though karma is driving me, I can make a choice to proceed or not proceed. Whether to speak like that or not to speak like that. I still have a choice to make in my life. That choice is not taken away. That independence is not taken away. Right? That's number one. Number two is, we should know that if karma is going to drive us everything, then why are we all sitting here and talking this thing? As simple as that. What are we going to gain out of this class, this lecture today, if karma is what going to drive me in my life? Why I have to do any of this puja karya? Nothing I have to do. But therefore, it is very clear that karma plays a role, certain roles. But I, as an individual person, have a choice to make in my life. So, and the choice, I can change things. I can change my life. I can change my future. It's in my control. That is in my control. Okay? So, here is another important thing. There is something called niyata karma, aniyata karma. The karmas of two categories, niyata karma, aniyata karma. Because the very first question that I asked you all before I started the presentation, who remembers? You are all here because it's already decided. How many of you are thinking that you have to be here because of your karma? I walk and hit myself. And what do I say? Karma. Right? And this karma is, in family, often husband wife talks, my karma. Right? So niyata karma, aniyata karma means, niyata karma is those karmas which is fixed in our life, cannot be altered, cannot change. There is no change can take place in karma. That karma, those karmas are called niyata karma. Those karma where we have control, we have certain controls, are called aniyata karma. Now, what are those things we don't have absolutely control of? How many of us decided that I want to be born on this year? How many of us have decided, this one no one will decide anyway. How many have decided this year I want, like we are not Bhishma, to decide on this day I want to leave my body? No one. So how many of us know or decide on our birth and death? None of us. Therefore, we can see that the longevity, activity, wealth, education, death, we have no control of it. We absolutely have no control of it. How much ever hard, two people, I know, two friends of mine who went to IIT, intellect personality. Two, one is a CEO, one is a consultant. Simple consultant. Absolutely same education, grades, everything same. One is up, one is like how much ever work, how hard we work, what we have to get is what we are going to get. Money, everything for that matter. Now you may challenge me, how do I know that? How do I know if I have to get one more million, I have to work for that, right? How do I know what is different? This is where the avidya comes and plays a lot. Because the human tendency is that we will never be satisfied how much ever we get. We will never be satisfied. Even if you know you are going, as per your karma, you have to get 1 billion. After you get 1 billion, still I will try to invest that 1 billion somewhere else. So anyway, niyata karma. Aniyata karma is, this is an important topic, please understand that not everything in our life is driven by karma. Not at all. It's not at all. For everything, whether I eat, it's because of my karma. I'm not able to eat because of my karma. It's not so. It's not so. Many things that happen in our life, as things happen, let's move on to the next slide. As things happen, based on the things that happen, either papa karma or punya karma reduces. Many people miss out this point. When I enjoy my life, guess what's happening without our knowledge? Whatever we have a punya karma credit point. We have two credit cards, right? Punya credit card and papa credit card. When we obviously go and start buying things and enjoying things, your credit card balance is going to reduce. As you suffer in our life, the credit balance in the bad card is going to reduce. What would you prefer to reduce more faster and quicker than? You have to decide. We have to decide. What is better to get rid of? passed out. An intelligent person will say, let me finish the bad karmas. Yes or no? Because you don't want to spend all this off, you want to enjoy life. But the theory is that, the result is that we should understand that Papa, the karma doesn't give me Papa, the karma doesn't give me Punya. When I go through suffering, Papa karma reduces. When I go through enjoyment, Punya karma reduces. This is an important thing. If we do not agree to this one, the big problem comes that I am driven by karma, therefore my life cannot change at all. Life cannot change at all. Cannot change. That's not the case. I can change my karma based on my intelligence, based on the free will that we have. Now, what are the different types of karma? There are 4 categories of karma. There's lot of categories of karmas are there, but to nail down to one slide. Akritya karanam, bhagavat apacharam, asakya apacharam. These are 4 types of karmas. Action, sinful action, by the way. Akritya karanam means doing himsa to other living entities. Parahimsa, other living entities. It could be human or it could be any living entities, killing other living entities or torturing our friends, family members, etc. Parastotra means glorifying others unnecessarily, false glorification. You are the God, you are the great, all those things. Parastotra. Paradhara parigraha. Paradhara parigraha means just eyeing on someone's wife, someone's property, someone's spouse. Not only wife, nowadays is the other way also. Paradhara, paradravya, apahara means taking others' property, Asatya means not speaking truth, and then eating food that is not recommended. Each one of this will take by itself a slide, so we are not going to get into the details. This is just a glimpse of what are the sins that we commit in our life. Bhagavat apachara is considering God to be equal to myself. Disrespecting the teachings of Vedas and disrespecting the Murti, the deities in the temple. Oh, this deity is made of wood, this is made of gold, this is made of metal. Gold is what great, gives more power. That is an aparad. So those are Bhagavata. Bhagavata aparad means the devotees who are serving the temple, fighting among and creating issues and doing politics and insulting the other person who is serving the temples or the devotees of the Lord. But when we start fighting among the devotees, that is the biggest apachara, and that's the biggest sin. The devotees who are serving in the temple especially should not fight. They should not be fighting. And they cannot fight and also say that they are devotees and they are doing service at the temple. It doesn't work, it doesn't go well. If anyone is fighting in the temple, they should understand that they are not understanding the supremacy of the Lord who is standing out there. He is watching, absolutely watching each and everything that's going on here. And we cannot say that, okay, I offended someone, therefore I can do some extra donation, extra puja, go to Tirupati and do a toe share, and Papa will go. Unfortunately, this is the answer. The Papa and Punya cannot be cancelled each other. I do 10 Papa, right? So what I do now is, I go and do 10 Punya, I'm thinking that it will get cancelled. But God is chalu, very smart. For bad karma you have to suffer 10 times. For Punya karma I will award you 10 times. But I will not cancel because of this and that. That's not going to work. So never ever think that because I did some sinful activities, I give some donation or undi some money or do puja, it will go away. It will not. Therefore the thing is that we should be careful not to make mistakes. That's the point. Okay? Now let's move on. Why can't I, now the next famous question comes. Oh my goodness, it's 6:15. I still have more slides to go. I can, please, what do you all want me to do?
Continue.
Thank you. I'll try to keep it as fast as possible. My biggest famous question comes. Why can't I spend all my karma in one lifetime only? Why have to take another life? And in another life also I don't remember what I did in the previous life. At least if I remember, I could be correcting myself not doing that one, right? But I don't even remember that. On top of it, I have to take many lifetimes to suffer. Simple example has been given. You saw in the India, we can see this barrel. In the villages you go, they will have a big barrel. In the big barrel, if the farmer harvests grains, say is harvesting a first class grain, and he puts into this barrel. Next year he comes. Next year he harvests a second grade grain, and he puts on the top of the first class grain. Now is one of his young child comes, and he sees his father is opening open the tap to get some grains. And what the boy who was recently born saw in the top, what his father put that year was second class grain. But what the father is getting now is the first class grain. The son is saying, how is that magic? What a magic, Dad. You put a second class, you're getting a first class grain. How is it possible? Beta, my dear son, last year you were not born. Last year I put first class grain, which is in the bottom. Now it's the second class, which is on the top. After a few months, I'll get the second one. Therefore, a mills of God grinds gradually, slowly, but perfectly. For anything that we do in our life, we got to pay for it. If not now, one day or the other. If not one day or the other in this lifetime, in any other upcoming lifetime. We will be responsible to experience the pain and pleasure of karmas that we did. So that's the reason. All right. Let's move on. Now how to eradicate? We are getting closer. We are getting how to eradicate the karma. 4 options are there. First is very simple. Simply experience good and bad karma. Suffer for all the good karma that we did. Suffer all the things for the bad karma that we did. Enjoy all the things for the good karma we did. In that way we can experience everything and then drain all the karmas and we can attain moksha. Right? That's number 1. The problem is, the karma that we have collected is not just one lifetime. Just now we saw we have taken life for many lifetimes. How are we going to go back and experience all this karma? Even in one second, the karma that I do can have a reaction of Brahma's lifetime. Can you just imagine? One simple karma that I did in 1 second can have a reaction of that I have to suffer for one lifetime of Brahma. That much I can do. So therefore experiencing it and finishing is out of question. Second one is another one is called Prayachittam, atonement. Yes? For this sin you did, do this puja. For this one, do that one. For this papa you did, do that one. Atonement. We do this atonement, right? Prayachittam. And we can get rid of all the papa. Problem. Again problem. Same problem. First problem is that I need to know how to do Prayachittam. And I need to know, first of all, I need to put an Excel sheet and list out all the papas that I did. Come on. How am I going to remember there are papam that I did knowingly and unknowingly? This lifetime and all the lifetime. How am I going to list out all the papam that I have done? And when am I going to do a Prayachitta and nullify all this papam by doing the atonement? It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Ruled out. Second option is ruled out. Third one. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says there are 5 ways, 5 things that we got to do. Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga leads to Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga leads to Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, then one can attain Krishna. Now through Jnana like a fire can burn all our papams. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita himself. He says every Jnana Agni. He says that karma, Jnana is like an Agni, it will finish all the karmas. But that Jnana, what Krishna is saying is not a blunt Jnana. Just having the knowledge of God is not sufficient. Knowledge of God is not sufficient. That Jnana has to be mixed and coated with Bhakti. Bhakti Rupa Panna Jnanam. This is called Bhakti Rupa. Jnanam should be there. But that Jnana should not just be a theoretical knowledge, it has to be mixed with Bhakti. Bhakti Rupa Panna Jnanam. That Jnana should be with Bhakti. What is the Jnanam is also called as Bhakti? Bhakti is called Dhyana. Anudhyana, all the different terms, synonyms are there for this particular thing called jnana. Hello, it's gone. Oh, maybe that will do.
Oh, back it. Keep that going.
We're almost done. Therefore, one cannot, in this Kali Yuga, for us to in Kali Yuga to concentrate and meditate upon God without any disturbances. Taila Dharavati. I says that how the oil is poured without any splittering and hearing anything, like that our concentration should be when we do bhakti. How many of us can do bhakti in yoga, bhakti in that way that we can not think of anything else but only God? Only God, nothing else. Right now we are thinking about when this will get over. Even though we are talking about God, we are already started thinking when we will ever finish. That is our bhakti. In that range, when are we going to do this dhyana in that way? Therefore, Krishna finally concludes. You have another option, my friend. You want to hear what it is? Arjuna says, yes. What is that option? Because I cannot do karma, jnana, all those different things are so very difficult for me. Please tell me what I am supposed to do. Krishna said, you have to continue doing bhakti. Bhakti is the only way. Bhaktya tu ananya sakyaha ahameva vido Arjuna. Krishna says, bhakti is the only means by which you can understand me and come to me. But that bhakti when you are doing, don't think you are doing bhakti. You are having a capacity and ability to do bhakti. Do in a mood of surrender. Therefore, Krishna concludes Bhagavad Gita. Sarvadharmana parityajya mam ekam saranam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyaha mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Do not fear, my friend. I know we went lot of slides over here. Don't be afraid of any of these things now. All we have to do is take this option for do bhakti in the mood of surrender. That's what he says. What happens to our karma? I am going to skip this one because of this reason. If I have to go through this slide, it's so very complex, but I want to tell you something. This is very important to understand. Why? This will remove the fights and things that we have among ourselves. Anyone who is devoted to God, anyone who is aspiring to become a devotee, who is sincere in his practices, we should know God has a special mercy upon that person. We have to be careful with that person because he is going to attain moksha. Now the question comes, well, that person will attain moksha. What will happen to his karma? Karma cannot be just left like that. Even though Shastra says it's burnt into ashes, it do this one, it withered like whatever it is. But that karma has to be done something. Tasya putra dhayam, it said, Tasya putra dhayam, dhayam is the wealth of a putra. How the wealth of the putra is distributed how the wealth of the father is distributed to the putra, to the children, likewise, the karma of that person who is going to attain moksha will be distributed to two categories of people. Who are the two categories of people? Punya will go to some category of people, Papa will go to some category of people. Those people who are supporting and helping and serving that person who is going to attain moksha, those people will get the punya of that person attaining moksha. This is all in Brahma Sutra, by the way. We don't have much time to go by reference. And those people who are against that person, giving hard time, those people get that person, any papa left, those will be transferred to that person. Therefore, that is why it is said we have to be very careful with bhaktas, devotees. We never know who is going to attain moksha. Therefore, that person is going to attain moksha, transfer. Roll over to the bad people and good people who are fighting with him during his time. Right? Therefore, we have to be careful. This slide I will skip. This is a class by itself. Now, last three slides. That is God. Why don't I remember the past karma? Because we have to understand that God, even we don't remember, even in this lifetime, we don't remember many things happened in the past. Why to speak about, what to speak about the past life is going to be very difficult to remember. It's well and good that we don't remember. If we start remembering, it's an headache. It's an headache, right? And you can imagine that. So God is a doctor. He plays a role as a doctor. He gives a treatment to us, and the treatment, we may like it, we may not like it, but it cures the disease. Whatever we are going through in our life, God as a doctor treating us. It's a treatment process that we are going through now in our life. Happiness and distress, it's all treatment that we are going through. You cannot say no to the treatment, right? Therefore, that's one. Second is God plays a role as a police. Police. He punishes. Obviously, He has to teach us. He has to punish us. If we do mistake, we have to take an action against us. He plays a role as a police. But the police or the doctor can give a treatment, police cannot give treatment. A doctor does not punish, police punishes. Here, both of them cannot forgive. Police cannot forgive, doctor cannot forgive for any mistake that we do. But God plays a third role. As a loving parent, Vatsalya. As a loving parent, He forgives all the mistakes that we do, not only this lifetime, all the lives of the previous life, provided we tell to God, going forward, I will not commit any mistake knowingly. It's an important thing. Unknowingly, as I walk, I'm going to step on some ants here. So knowingly, I will not commit any mistakes. Please forgive me for all that I've done. This is what, when we come to the temple, we all have to pray to the Lord. Rather than praying and doing so many other things, my Lord, I'm a papi, I've done many wrong things. Little I've done good things. Please forgive me for all that I've done in my life. So this is another one. And we plays a role as a Jagat Guru. Krishnam Mande Jagat Guru. He plays a role as a guru, given Bhagavad Gita to us. So how do I surrender is the last question that we all have in our mind. How do I surrender? 6 steps process. First of all, we need to have a desire that I want to change. If we don't even have a desire, I want to change my life towards spirituality, towards God, I want to take steps towards God, then we can't do anything. We as an individual should all have an aspiration that I want to change my life, progress towards God, steps towards God. That desire should be there. I want to lead a godly life. Second step is, we have to find if anyone is there around here who leading such life. And we have to take friendship with them and start having friendship with them and associate with such people. Like-minded people. And at the third step, then we start hearing more such pravachana, such classes. It's not one time we hear today we are enlightened. It's not going to happen. We have to constantly keep hearing this topic, the same topic, from different resources. Because everyone has a different flavors to add to the same topic. Therefore, we have to keep hearing and keep studying the scripture. Number 4, pray to the Lord, as I said, for His mercy to save us and forgive us for all the mistakes that I have done. Number 5, commit to a guru, find a guru, bona fide guru, and surrender to the guru, and serve the guru, and learn from him. Number 6, rest of the life that we lead after we commit to the guru is in the hands of God. Whatever is happening in our life, under the control of God. We can simply serve the temple, serve the humanity, chant and be happy for the rest of our life. Okay? So the life is a preparation, death is an examination. Therefore, let's prepare in our life. As our faculties are working fine, I'm able to see, I'm able to walk, I don't have a problem, I'm able to breathe nicely, I have no issues with my body. Even if I have some issues, I can still manage. Let's prepare ourselves for the final exam that is coming. And this examination doesn't have a date, by the way. We don't have a date for this exam, but it's coming. For that, let's get prepared for now. How do we prepare? Go back to the slides and follow the 6 steps process and become serious in our life. What we have covered so far, as a quick summary, is we have seen what's the goal of life is attain God, and the natural condition is 8 qualities that we don't have birth, death, disease, old age, all those things, but then we are in the current state going through all those things. When I took my first birth, there is nothing such things like first birth, first karma. Why do I see differences around the world? That is because of individual karmas. What is the cause of my birth? Is it God cause of my birth? No, it's only secondary cause. I am the first cause. what is karma. We saw what is karma. There's a punya karma and papa karma, the deeds and the reaction of the karma. And how did I start accumulating karma? Because of my avidya. Avidya is ahankara and mamakara, which makes me raga and dvesha, or put me into the cycle of repeated birth and death. And then why am I not able to clear my karma of same mamakara and avidya that we have? What is the root cause? As we saw, avidya. What are the different types of karma? We saw the different types of karma. One thing I forgot to tell is that is the Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is the karma taken from the Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is account which is savings account. And then the checking account where you spend your money out of the savings account is called Prarabdha karma. This Prarabdha karma is not just one time. It may go to multiple lifetimes. Please understand. This is a very important thing. We may think this lifetime I have to take one Prarabdha karma, finish and go to the Sanchita karma, take another set and create a no. One Prarabdha karma may take us hundreds and thousands of lifetimes to finish. Can you imagine when we ever going to finish Prarabdha karma first? To think about Sanchita karma. No way, it's impossible unless and until we surrender to the Lord. Therefore, we saw the types of karma, and we also saw the different. Since that we saw Bhagavat Apachara, and many apacharas we saw. And why don't I remember past karma? If we remember, it's a problem. Better, God has given us a treatment how to resolve the problem rather than trying to find the cause of it. Even if you know the cause, it's going to be terrible for us to hear those what all we did in past life. Nothing is going to be pleasing. The next one is, how do I clear karma? We saw options. How do I attain goals? Again, we saw in the option the same thing. Does my karma get transferred? Yes, it does get transferred. Not for everyone. One is going to attain moksha. For them, their karma will be transferred to good people and bad people. What am I supposed to do? 6 steps. The last step is to be happy in our life, whether we are in this lifetime here as we are living, after we leave, and when we go back to this spiritual world, Vaikuntham. When we go there, to be happy there, we have to prepare our life now. Life is an examination, death is a preparation. Therefore, that must have answered the question why bad things happen to good people. Thank you all very much for tolerating me and gave me an extra 30 minutes of time. I'm sorry, couldn't keep up with my time. Thank you, and we can have any questions if you have any questions. Please feel free to ask questions. If I know, I can answer. I will know. If I know, I'll try to answer. Yes, Pratiti?
So, do you get rewarded and punished for like the same deeds that you gave out to others, like in the same way? So, for example, if you yelled at somebody, then like sometimes someone else is gonna yell at you, or is it like something completely different?
Okay. If the action is same, if the same action, I'm just rephrasing what she said, paraphrasing what she said. Can the same action can be come into a good karma or bad karma? Right? For example, if I yell at someone, obviously yelling at someone is not good thing. Not good thing. Therefore you get a papa karma. Yelling is just an action, activity. But that yelling is done on what consciousness, on what basis, decides whether it's papa or punya. I'm walking on, one rich man is coming out of the shop, fully drunk, okay, and he saw in his pocket he has a bottle of whiskey, and as he coming out of the shop, he saw a poor boy, 8-year-old boy. Sir, he saw, I have to help this boy, and takes a bottle of alcohol and gives to him. Dhanam. He gave a dhanam to that boy. What do you think? He gave an action of charity. He gave a charity if that boy needs something. So all he had in his pocket was a bottle of whiskey. So he gave to that boy. Is that a good action or bad action? My God. Come on. You shouldn't be thinking so much. It's a bad action. It's a bad action. Yelling at someone, just for an example, yelling at someone for good reason, good purpose, for correction. Police yells at someone. But that doesn't fall into the bad karma. Falls into good karma for good reason. But if you're yelling out of nowhere for no reason, you want to just show your grudge and anger and something on someone, an innocent person, that falls into the papa karma.
Yes, but like do you get it back in the same way that you gave it out, or is it like?
Yes.
So
for every action, there's an equal reaction. You'll get the same reaction. Or you can get the same reaction, or that reaction will be somehow or the other, you have to suffer for it in some way or the other. Both are possible. Yes.
Swami, we talked about Bhavat Apacharam. How do you reconcile the Chandogya Upanishad statement, Tattvamasi Aham Brahmasmi, with that Bhavat Apacharam?
See, Baham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, I am that Brahman. The meaning is very simple to understand. There are again, I'm talking from the school of thought of the Vaishnava school of thought. Again, if you go to different schools of thought, there are different meanings are there. Therefore, from what I learned, is I'm going to share here. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. That means that when this example is nicely given, where you take a glass of water, I'm asking a glass of water, and then you're getting a glass of water to me, and you're giving me this glass of water. Right? I asked for water, but what you gave me? You didn't give me just water. You gave me a water which was contained in a glass, and when you gave in my hand, you gave, please take water. I said, where is water? Water is inside, right? So that means the water is, because this water is inside, I can call the glass also water because of its close connectivity that it has with the glass. Therefore, you call it as water. Here is the glass, here is the water. Likewise, Aham Brahmasmi is called because I am part and parcel of God. When I am part and parcel of God, that means that Lord which is present within myself, I can call myself as that God in that sense. In that sense, Aham Brahmasmi. That's what I would say, stop over there. Thank you. This is a philosophical topic which may go deeper into many questions, but we'll just stop right there. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Yes.
So, it is easy to understand that which has a beginning has an end, but we say the karma and avidya, it does not have a beginning, but it has an end. So,
if it is, it's easy to understand that also. Only reason is because if it is not going to have an end, as I said, why do we have Bhagavad Gita? Why do we have Vedas? Why do we have Dharma Shastra? Why we need a guru? Why we have to give a class and speak about what to do, what not to do? Because it's never had an end anyway. Avidya and karma. Therefore, it's you imply in another way. Therefore, the instructions are there that tells us that we can end the karma and end the avidya. Therefore, Krishna has given the instructions in the form of Vedas that very clearly defines this. That yes, that has an end. Otherwise, there's no purpose at all for Vedas, for the scriptures, Dharma Shastras, for trying to cultivate knowledge. There's no point in doing any of this. Thank you. Over there. One second. Over there.
You had mentioned that somebody who gets moksha and their good and bad karma gets distributed.
Yes, sir.
Is there any, like for our deceased parents or something, if I do something good, do they get credit for that good karma?
If you
Good
do,
parents or anything? Oh yeah.
if this is, yeah. So your question is a standard question. When I do good things, will children get karma? This is a standard question. When I do good punya, my child gets punya of my get transfer. Answer, don't get disappointed. That's the answer. Everyone karma is individual on that sense. But here's an important point. When you do good karma, your children are watching that. They are influenced by that good karma. Not necessarily that you're going to share that punya that you did with your child for that matter. They are getting influenced, which is good. They will also do punya. Thank you.
There's a question online.
Online? Okay, what's the question?
Krishna Kottapalli.
And we can stop here because it's waiting late.
Yeah.
The last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it still possible for a person or a devotee to get moksha through the devotee performed good or bad karma? How to understand this, Prabhu? Please forgive my ignorance in asking this question.
Can moksha be attained? We spoke about moksha. Ultimately, moksha is something that when we finish all the karma, we go back. But it is not so easy. First, let me tell that and come back to the answer. Just because we finish karma, it doesn't mean that we can go back. Just because I have all the documents to enter America or any other country does not mean that I'll definitely get entry into that country. There is a inspector officer sitting right there. It is upon whether his mode of goodness, ignorance or passion. Whether he had a fight with his family before coming or not, he's going to deport you or he's going to allow you. We don't know, even though you have all the documents ready. Yes? Very easy. Therefore, even though I finished all the karma, do not think by default I have got my ticket to go to Vaikuntha. Because there is an inspector sitting right there at the entrance of the Vaikuntha. He says, well, he's going to ask one question. What is the question? I'll come to the question. Sorry, this is why you should not ask question too much. So he is going to ask that person who's sitting there. Krishna is going to ask questions. And when near Vaikuntha, is going to ask, what's the problem? I have all the documents. Everything is there to come to Vaikuntha. Oh, how did you come here? Well, I did bhakti and I did everything and all my karmas are finished. Very good. Just wait there. We may be waiting near the entrance for a long period of time because ultimately it is God's choice whether to let us in or not. Okay. Now the question is, the devotees, can they do this? Is that the question? Right?
Can we get moksha through the devotee who performed good or not?
Yes. By the recommendation of such nice devotees who have performed bhakti, by the recommendation, God will heal to that recommendation. But ultimately it is God who is going to give us. But when the devotees recommends, he will accept it. There's no question about it. Thank you. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate your participation. Wonderful question. Please forgive me for any mistakes and thanks for tolerating me. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.